A few days ago, we covered here on TPP that Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the classic attraction at Magic Kingdom, suffered a fire and an evacuation on its very first day back in operations after the, shall we say, new generation of Imagineers got their paws on it. But today we're taking a pause to discuss maybe we were too harsh. Maybe these Imagineers did something special. Did they in fact make Big Thunder better? Or is it a huge blunder yet again for Disney? We'll explain on the other side. Hello folks, hello friends, welcome back yet again to TPP, where all the news should be fun. And indeed, folks, we're never done bringing you the latest, and this time it's a review of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad 2.0. Surely it's got to be better than the Journey into Imagination 2.0, 3.0. You better believe it is. But the little lights, they're twinkling, and maybe the fires are also burning just a wee too much over on the wildest ride in the wilderness. Let's dive in. We got a panel to talk about what they think about Big Thunder. It's time. The review beyond the fire is here. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is back at the Magic Kingdom over in Walt Disney World, and it has been down for a long, long time, 18 months maybe. And even though it had a fire on the first day, things are going decently okay, as well as they can when there was a fire on day one and a full-blown evacuation. But hey, let's ignore all that for a minute. Laughing Place has done a great job of doing a side-by-side, or shall we say up and down, comparison of Big Thunder in 2026 and 2025. Now, something you should know about the ride is that people are saying that it's slower. And I have suggested this, that it's slower now than it was before, less thrilling. And one of the reasons people believe this is because the height requirement has been lowered from 40 inches to 38 inches. And many are in favor of, hey, get the kiddos, the younger ones, get the 3-year-olds on. And some people say, no, I want my more wildest ride in the wilderness, okay? Here's the deal. We're going to watch this. I'm going to tell you what I think is up with it. And we'll judge the Imagineers beyond just the fire that sent guests running from the spires of Big Thunder. Here we go. Folks, it's timed exactly the same, and well played by Laughing Place. Here we go. Up on the top is the new one. Down on the bottom is the old one. And the first thing you're going to see is that we've got some additional lighting. And when we go into the first lift hill, we're going to have a lot of LEDs. We got the bats over there, but then holy moly, look at this. It is a very rainbow tunnel after all on the right side. And you can see down there in the older version that Big Thunder was lit. That sounds like the kids would say nowadays, right? It was lit.
It's lit.
It was lit the normal way. Now up atop, it looks like something out of a Hong Kong movie from the 60s. I mean, that looks like a dragon. And then around you go. Here we go. Now, all this way, it's been timed exactly the same. I think you're going to notice that we're going a little slower, maybe in 2026, or maybe not. Maybe 2025 is running faster. But here's what I think is going on as we play this. I think that the ride itself is going slightly slower, the vehicles themselves, but the lift hills have been sped up. Pay attention to this, okay? You're going to see 2026 now and 2025 about the same place, but we're going to get a major change here. Now, the reason this matters, and Culture, I'm going to go to you first because I know you're a huge theme park fan and you're a huge fan of the classic attractions. This actually shortens the ride experience. I don't know if it shortens it meaningfully, but this means the line will move faster. Culture, I think I've figured this out. I think the ride is slightly slower overall, but the lift hills are much quicker, and therefore the ride time is a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds left. What say you?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of ways to change the speed of attractions, but you're right. Just changing the speed of the lift hill certainly could shorten the ride. You would have to control the release so that would be you wouldn't exceed the speeds that you're talking about. Decreasing the speed to me isn't a big deal. The ride itself gets enjoyment out of the surroundings more so than anything else. It's very immersive.
It's mostly lighting effects that have been added. Culture.
Almost always, yeah.
Right.
And look, I appreciate the fact that it's smoother and you're going to get tossed around a little bit less. I think that the undulation was something that everybody could do without. That also frees up, younger people to be there. It's a little bit more of a stationary position on the seat. But they didn't have to make any drastic changes. If you look at the comparison between the two, there's always going to be improved ride times or speeds after you refurbish an attraction because everything's been properly replaced and serviced. So you're going to get new bearings on the wheels and all kinds of other things that are done, not quite as often as they should be at Disney now because they've, not really put a lot of weight on maintenance. So.
Now, I love Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's one of my favorite attractions. And as is so often the case, it's not because it's the fastest or it's the bestest. It's because I have a memory with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. When I was a kid, I convinced my grandmother to ride Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And she was not a roller coaster person. In fact, I think it may have been her first roller coaster ever. And I don't think she enjoyed any more roller coasters after that. So I have a great memory of Big Thunder and the impact it had on my grandmother. And so I'm looking forward to going back and riding this again. I have not. I've seen some discussions about they've changed the paint scheme a little bit. They've recolored the rocks. It's more sandy colored now. But, listen, I think the Imagineers did an okay job with this. I don't want to say they did a fantastic job. Maybe the budget wouldn't allow it, but it's mostly just a smoother track and some lighting effects. And they've sped up the lift hills. That's about all I see here. What do we think? So in all fairness, they did just make those changes and a fire broke out on day one. I'm taking a little heat over this, pun intended, because that's all I focused on previously. Lauren, is that fair? Should I have went more into depth like this? And again, kudos to Laughing Place for having the side-by-side. But should we have spent more time talking about the ride and not the terror and guests running for their lives? I'm kidding. That's too much.
Well, I don't think it's unfair of you to focus on that because the people that were on the ride expected to be able to get on and enjoy the ride experience. And instead, a fire did break out. They had to stop the ride. They had to exit the vehicle. They didn't get to enjoy the ride. And right after a refurb, to have something like that happen, that's something that shouldn't happen. So I don't think that was unfair. And even if you wanted to look at it that way, we are now looking at the side-by-side of the ride pre and post refurb. We're giving it an honest critique of what we can see here. Obviously, that's going to be different than riding the ride yourself, but I don't think that mentioning that there was a fire and that on the first day that they had to evacuate and shut down the ride is unfair. That because those people that went there to ride that ride didn't get to.
That's true. That's true. Mike, are you much of a Big Thunder guy? Have you been on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad before?
I have not. I am not a big theme park guy. I used to be back in the day when I was younger, and then I haven't been to one since I was probably 17.
Are you a roller coaster guy? I know you're not a theme
Depends on
park
the roller
guy,
coaster.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have the record at a local area, like a local theme park. I have the record. Or I used to have the record. I rode the thing like 20 times in a row. So I do like
Well, I'm just asking, Mike, what do you think about the idea of making it less thrilling so smaller kids can ride? Is that a good or bad thing for, Disney doesn't have that many thrilling coasters at Magic Kingdom. Is that, you think it's good or bad?
I think that's a really dumb idea. I think that's a really bad idea because I think you're missing what actually like kids like about stuff like this, You might be like short-sightedly, like maybe a kid will enjoy it a little bit more because they won't be as scared. But as they get older, they're just going to forget about it and not have good memories of it versus like that thrill in the beginning and overcoming your fear and experiencing something like, death defying. Yeah, I think that's a really bad call.
So, Wizard, I think that Big Thunder had the potential. I'm being facetious here on purpose, but I think it could have been with this latest refurb, the next Stardust Racers. I think it could have been the thrilling.
Oh no!
Well, okay. Well, no, listen.
Do you feel
controversies aside, it could have been what culture? What do you want?
No. Do you feel like maybe they didn't try to do too much with this refurb because they already destroyed Tony Baxter's ultimate creation?
I think they didn't do too much with this refurb because they don't have Imagineers who could do too much with this refurb.
Well,
Here I go again. Oh, I feel so bad. I was supposed to be nice.
they didn't do very much with what they did to Splash Mountain either. It's a cesspool now.
Okay, here's the deal, right? So if we got to replace the track, that's a different company. It's not Imagineers. That's another company that comes in and replaces the track, a coaster company. I don't know which one it was this time. Beyond that, what did they do, Culture? They added little lights.
Right.
Like, guys and girls, if the lights don't twinkle, we can still run the coaster. I think that's what was going through their minds. Wiz, am I wrong there? I mean, I think the management at Disney said, after all the stuff we've screwed up, you guys get to add lights to this ride, and that's going to be the big deal. If you play your cards right, we might let you have a fog machine, but we doubt it.
I mean, look, we were just playing the footage back to back. They look extremely similar. I think it's just a lighting update.
18 months, Wiz.
Down.
18 months.
I'm not seeing 18 months. Now, I will say, I think Big Thunder Mountain, when I wrote it a few years ago, like a long time ago,
you had a good time, didn't you?
One of the bumpiest coasters I've ever been on in my life. It is not a fun ride. At least it wasn't when I went on last. So if they were making it smoother, because all of the rides in Epic are pretty dang smooth. Well, except for the Donkey Kong, but most of the rides in Epic are pretty smooth.
Stardust Racers is very smooth, Wiz.
Exactly. So I think that's a judgment now, is that coasters got to be a little bit smoother. They're not, it's not acceptable for them to be as rough anymore. And if that's it, then that would be pretty nice.
Dude, you would hate the Matterhorn. I'm just telling you right now. That is not the coaster for you, bro.
I didn't. A lot of the rides in Epic I had a lot of problems with. They are the Testicle Crushers 3000s.
Oh boy! All right.
It is the scrotum
Gotta protect the
destroyer in
gems.
the Epic universe.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is not made for tall gentlemen at all. None of those rides are.
The old scrotum scrambler, eh?
It is agony, pain, agony even. Getting on the Donkey Kong coaster in Epic. So anything to make it where it's a smoother experience, that sounds great with me.
That's how I feel about.
Install some lights, that's fine.
That's how I feel about Tron. I can't stand getting on Tron. I'm like, this is squeezing me in every place I don't want to be squeezed right now.
I don't want to hear that, Pro. Because that's the only ride I'm looking forward to eventually going on one day.
Tron's uncomfortable, Wiz. And not only that, Flight of Passage is basically a Tron bike, refit on a Pandora's box.
Tron is going to hug you in ways you haven't been hugged since you got on a $5 bicycle seat when you were 10 years old.
Wow. He fights for the users.
That's right. Okay, so
y'all talk me out of it. I'm not getting on that thing.
Big Thunder, you should get on Big Thunder.
I've been on Big Thunder plenty of times in my life. I don't think I need to get on it.
Atmospheric.
You don't want to do it again there.
I did go to the Tokyo Disney Big Thunder. It was very smooth. That one's out there rolls really well.
Also, just a real quick amount of clarity to this. Depending upon the time of day and time of year that these videos were shot, that could also be why they have a different ride length, because coasters speed up throughout the day. Atmospheric conditions change.
This is why we have you on, Culture, because...
And go ahead.
Well, there aren't that many people who could come on the channel and be like, it's really the distance the moon is from the Earth that could change this by about 0.7 seconds. I've done the calculations. Here they are.
I respect that energy. Yeah.
No, I am a mental patient when it comes to attractions. But I'll say this: when Arrow originally designed the track for this attraction, they did an excellent job.
I've got the. Oh, look at this chat that's out there. Hang on, let me see if I can grab that. Where is that? Here we go. Yeah, Fendel says. Product plan, all new WDW Pro Channel padded codpiece for coaster fans.
There you go.
Oh yeah, man.
That's right.
You need that for Epic Universe bad.
Get it at the merch.
Some of those rides are killers.
Pro store.
Yes, I'd like my Mario codpiece, please.
No.
Yeah.
If it's a WDW Pro themed thing, then we have to have all of our faces on them. You get to choose which WDW personality.
Lauren, what's your problem, man?
What? Scoot into your seat, and some guy looks down. He just got WD's face right there, and they're just like
Culture Casino's beard.
Yeah.
Oh no!
No! On that cod piece, every single cod piece, I don't care who it is,
That cod piece.
they have this face.
Oh! Oh no!
That's when you know the assignment. The one thing I'll add, in all seriousness, to the Big Thunder discussion is I wish that they could have quieted the lift hills a little bit more. It's deafening, and they've added some audio, but come on, could we not change out the chains and get this thing quiet again? I mean, holy moly, it's loud. There you go, folks. And no, we are not yet selling the cod pieces, but you know what? In a capitalist society, if we can make money off of it, we just might go there. Bigly.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.